Hello. We're back, man. We're back, and as we do all the time, this is the great TS, where we tell it like it is, and let the chips fall where the bloody hell may. All right, and that same platform, that's where we tell you every time, the truth crashed to earth shall rise again. Not only that, we affirm to our dear brothers and sisters in the business of Jandam. Say, Charlie, Munku see who, because whatever Jandam you put out there, we shall crush it with the truth. I'm telling you, the truth is the most powerful weapon, nothing else. So whatever Jandam you come with, we shall crush it with the truth. And finally, what time is it, folks? It's nation time. It is nation time. It is nation time. Folks, before I start today, I want to say a big up to my dear friend. I think his name is Reverend, or is it Pastor Kweku Patrick. I had lunch with him at the Cactus Creek, and the guy was like, KSM, I listen to the program all the time. We love that program. So Reverend Patrick, I promised you I'll big you up. So big up to Kweku Patrick, also for Patrick, Reverend Patrick. Show some love for him, man. And if you're listening on the last episode, I say, today I'm doing Funalytics. Now the difference between Funalytics and the info analytics. Say Funalytics there, Charlie, no data. My feelings. My feelings, you know, and look at data. So I just tell you what I feel and what I think. And so please, there's no info analytics data. It's just our feelings. By next week, we'll know who is winning, man. Whether we are going spiritual or whether we are going data. And then let's talk about that next week. But in the meantime, folks, today, Funalytics. And in my Funalytics research that I've been doing, I've noticed one thing. One mistake that the NPP has made. A big one. Should I tell you what? Charlie, so you see that queer person, he's not even showing up in the polls. What in baby queer? He's doing his own runs, or see, polls or no polls, he's there. Do you know who I'm talking about? Japon. Charlie, honestly, in my view, dear, of the lot, I think Japon could have been the best qualified person for their flag bearer. Let me tell you why. He's youthful. He has great ideas. He has energy. He's dynamic. So I think generally, when you did based on my own Funalytics there, I think Japon would have done something for the NPP. I think Japon, believe it or not, I think for now, he is the only candidate who could have unified this fragmented and disorganized party. Japon. You miss a good opportunity to get somebody in there. But I'm not talking about that, because even with Japon, talking about he would have been a good candidate for the NPP. I'm not talking about 2028 too. We say forget it. I just forget it too. I say forget it. No. 2028, forget about it. I'm telling you. Forget about it. 2028, it will take a lot for Ghanaians to say, after how JM has started, and after how everybody has been impressed, say, we seem to be on the right track.
Okay, Busiafo, so this is the Amasaman Road that Debia na me bon de no. We around July mu say no. This is how our not traffic here massive on Amasaman Road. A boy you maybe 6. Na se onam kwan no so a wotika mu onamu with the motorbike. There is a huge traffic on that road. So this is around July 2025 on the Amasaman Road. Baby adebia mi twache mo na me na nam ho no mo na no. Say massive traffic. Kwan na contractor ni so. So somebody may think say no other blog I'm doing politics. No, this is not politics. This is about say obi aye juma na ye bona baso. People are saying say taxpayers money, but bro, mama nka say mo tro. The taxpayers money no obi amfa nye and obi dey. So understand say the why ye mo na baso. Now let's look at how the same place in the city. And they would do on the cars are passing like quite within some few months from July to December. Yeah, which means say you're very close to some 3-5 months to be. And a contractor no a GM money back quite so now if you saw back quite so we can all testify say the traffic are never amasama kwaso aba from first no so ta eyasem ewiaba eyasem emfutro be wura wo hwinemu ufu trotro kwa na oyewu enso ta teche na kai bi hwiase na bi tim na bi ka but ne kwan ye wie de na mum no metumi aka show say the kind of comfortability we kwan so no bro too much, and we really appreciate the work of GM. Yes, me, I am telling you, say, JM so far is the best president from my perspective, and I really appreciate this man.
Things are working. But initially, we are very, very, very happy with how things look. We seem to be on the right track. And that's what everybody is saying now. And everybody is saying this, that, oh, if JM and the NDC are to force and whoever can stay on the track and keep doing what they are doing, Charlie, come 2028, no contest. That's why I come in and tell JM, don't worry about anything, don't worry about third term, whatever. Concentrate! Because the way we have started, and this is the fact. We have not seen some before. Like I said, even in my own estimate, I was thinking that things are so bad that there must be a change. Things, and you must say, and yet, so there must be a change. But even when I was campaigning for the change, I was saying, well, you know, when there's a change, maybe after a year or so, we shall start seeing improvements in the currency and everything. I gave it a year or so, which means it could even go more than a year. But folks, I swear to God, within 2 to 3 months, we started seeing changes. Visible changes, and change that you drive to the fuel shop to buy fuel and you notice the drop. Visible. You go and change your currency, you notice the strength of the city. Visible changes within the first 2-3 months. And so, folks, I'm saying this. Even the NPP was in shock. I'm saying, no, this can't be happening. I'll tell you, even the NPP was confused. No, this can't be happening. You heard what Bawumia said. Oh, there's no policy. None happened. There's no policy.
The appreciation of the Cedi that we have seen recently. I think one of the things that if you ask a simple question to the NDC to point out exactly what policy they have implemented that has resulted in the appreciation of the Cedi, they cannot tell you one that has been implemented. They've not even issued any contracts and paid for anything, pretty much. So you cannot ascribe what is happening to the currency to a policy that they have implemented. There's no such policy that has been implemented that has had that impact.
You get so desperate at the alarming results. The only thing you can think of is there's no policy. And I remember what my great potential presidential candidate said, that this is not due to anything. I'm talking about Mr. Japon, Kennedy. This is not due to anything. It's just that we are at a certain time where there's no demand for the dollar. That's why. Maybe what? Listen to him.
It's temporal. It is not any economic gurus in this country that is causing the cedi to appreciate and the dollar to depreciate. It is the wealth market that they are not demanding the dollars as much as they used to. That is why there's no competition and supply of dollar is exceeding the demand. As simple as that. These are basic economics principles. So we have to be careful with what we are saying about interest rate and all those things. It's not magic. It is the world economy that is falling apart. And the demand for the dollar has gone down.
Did you hear that? It's so no demand. You know, when he was saying that, the hope and the prayer was that by December things should change. When there's a demand for the dollar and when it's getting towards Christmas, things will change. Then he would have come up and done a second public speech at the same place, Central, and told them, didn't I tell you that the Cedi seemed to be appreciating because there was no demand? Didn't I tell you it's going up? But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So when that didn't happen, then some funny things started happening, you know. First, the whole idea was that there's no policy cry. This is just there's no demand for the dollar.
Look, do you know why the Cedi is stable? No, I want you to understand. Do you know why the Cedi is stable? The Cedi is stable not because Dr. Forson at the Finance Ministry is doing anything special. It's because government is not spending. It's because contractors are not being paid. It's because there's no liquid in the circulating in the economy.
Let me tell you something before I continue. You see, in the political system in Ghana here, you know, I want to tell you that there's something that we call the opposition. And there's something that we call nation wreckers. Opposition means that they are there to guide government. That's what the opposition should do. When the government does anything that is not advancing national development, then the opposition says, time out. My dear government, what you're doing will not help in nation building. That is the role of the opposition. Opposition, stand back. Be a guard dog for the people. And whenever the government is doing anything that goes contrary to nation building, then the opposition says, hey, hold on. But sadly, folks, we don't have opposition in Ghana. Not all of them. But most people in opposition have turned themselves into nation wreckers. Do you know the difference between opposition and nation wreckers? Opposition will oppose government to make sure that everything the government is doing is in furtherance of developing the nation. That's a good opposition. That's what I want. That's what you want. An opposition that even though they are in the position, they are guard dogs. And every single thing that the government does that is not furthering national development, they call out. That's opposition. Nation wreckers, on the other hand, are those people who see feely that things are working. Who see feely that things are improving. Who see feely that the Cedi or the currency is appreciating. But still, they say we'll oppose. And when you're positional, I'm sorry, that is nation wrecking. I kid you not. I always use Asenso Boachi as an example. He's in the opposition. And his idea of opposition is that anything that comes up, oppose. So even when GM comes up, let's do an expressway from Accra to Kumasi. Do you know how vital that is to the economic well-being of this country to be able to build an expressway from Accra to Kumasi? But hey, we are in opposition. So the minute he heard that, he said, he rises, he said, we are opposed to it. It won't work. A waste.
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Asenso Boachi suggested that the proposed Accra-Kumasi Expressway is wasteful. And that we in the opposition opposed the dualization. Mr. Speaker, that cannot be the case. Mr. Speaker, I was surprised and amazed to see a colleague, member of parliament, particularly an MP from Kumasi to describe the project as wasteful. Mr. Speaker, an MP of which the road is leading to his constituency will say that the road is wasteful. Mr. Speaker, to the extent that the said MP wrote to the president to say to the president that don't do that project. Mr. Speaker, I am surprised. I am surprised. I am surprised. Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised to hear that. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this. That this road from Accra to Kumasi is more than a road. It is opening up a country. So for an MP from that constituency to write and to say that the road is wasteful and we should not do it, and write to the president that the president should not do the project, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it's untenable. Right, Honorable Speaker.
But folks, the funny thing is that if the same thing had been proposed by His Excellency Akufo-Addo, Asenso-Boakye would have been on every platform touting the greatness of Akufo-Addo. But when Mahama brings that idea, it is a waste of time. This is what worries me, that some in opposition start thinking that the duty of being in a position is to wreck the nation. And that's what we are facing now. I'll come back to the primaries in a second. Let me set up my foundation. So now that is what is happening. There's a big conflict between those who understand opposition as just being there to be guard dog and pointing out things that the government does that are not in furtherance of nation building and voicing out against that. There's a conflict between them and those who think that, hey, opposition, nothing is good. They have become nation wreckers. And folks, this saddens me. For a second, Muntio, Ghana is one country. We swim or we sink together. Some can swim and some can sink. If we swim together. If we sink together. So for me, anybody who says there's a particular party or leader in power and I don't like them, and for that reason, let this country sink. Let that leader fail.
I want him to fail. I want my party to win the 2028 election.
So you want him to fail?
I don't want Mahama to succeed as in succeeding, because I want my party to win.
I believe needs mental attention. I kid you not to. Mental problem comes in many levels. So you may not know this, but if you actually start thinking like this mentally, see how, what's his name, Miracle Sabwaji was suffering doing a show called the People's Forum just to explain to people that nothing has changed in Ghana.
Maybe to any dollar na mudidija. The dollar na da kosuro, e da ba fomo, e da sinse yiemo. Me fine yake. Me kota, me the cities na koto. Me the car na ba, me the cities na tia driver na car.
If this is a reset, then we are in trouble. The People's Forum and the view of the people, as you can see, is that we are not seeing a reset. We are seeing a reverse.
Oh, Dennis, as if you're doing this show in Papua New Guinea. They are not in Ghana, so they don't know what is going on in Ghana. Go and do it there. But you're doing it in Ghana where people know and they feel and they see that changes are happening. And yet we want more. But at least they see that the initial changes are good and must continue. And then it's instead of coming up and saying, yeah, I know I'm NPP, but let's face facts. Things are changing. The direction is positive. I know I'm NPP, but for the sake of Ghana, let us all join in and make this country lift. But no, you have to do a People's Forum to assemble people who come and swear that right now they buy Kenke at 10 cities, so nothing has changed.
Today, Kenke is selling for 7 cedis. And other places in Koforidua, the women are telling me, when it gets to your 10, please, telling me that they are buying Kenke for 10 cedis.
Why? Folks, why? So let's move on. So today I wanted to look at the primaries. And I just used the Agyapong beginning to. I think that it was a missed opportunity for the NPP. Who knows? Agyapong said, don't pay attention to the polls, man. You'll be surprised. It may surprise us. So. Because all of a sudden, Ghana, all our minds are focused on two people. Kennedy Agyapong and Bawumia, or Bawumia and Kennedy. These are the two front runners. So all Ghanaians are focused on that. The rest of the people, we don't even hear about them more. Well, Brian shows up every now and then, but Duchum, my man Agyapong, they don't show up anywhere, even though they are keeping hope alive. Agyapong says he will shock us all. So we are all waiting. The primaries is just tomorrow. And we all chill and wait. But folks, this is what I'm looking at. The problem I am seeing is this, that unfortunately, the loud people in the NPP are coming out as nation wreckers, not as oppositional. I've told you the difference. They are coming out as nation wreckers, and the nation wrecker, his aim or her aim is to say that nothing good. Because unfortunately, whoever is in power, the party in power, the leader in power is not their choice. I swear to God, the same people, if the developments and the achievements that NDC has chalked so far had been under the NPP, the same people would have glorified Nana Addo as the greatest that ever lived. But for the same people now, nothing is happening. You know what I think is funny? I'll come back to the primaries. But what I think is very funny, and which is setting a very, very dangerous platform for whoever becomes the flag bearer. You, all those of you who are in the race, especially the two front runners, Bawumia and Kennedy Japon. This is the problem that is waiting for you. The party that you're going to represent, whoever wins, the party for which you will be the flag bearer, has set a strong foundation. And the foundation is that nothing is happening. Maybe what? See, even as late as recently when they had holding power to account. If you listen very carefully, I think Afenyomakun said that even the gains that the NDC are boasting of has nothing to do with them. Who is it to do with? Believe it or not, is the IMF.
We hereby submit that the so-called gains were not born out of government's competence in the management of our economy. Rather, the IMF program, debt relief, rising commodity exports, reduced expenditure are the major reasons for the upswing in Ghana's economy, not a re-engineering of the economy.
Because sometimes this is so ridiculous, they become comical. They say now is the IMF, but let's trace how I go to the IMF. First, the great things that were happening had nothing to do with any policy.
Look, do you know why the Cedi is stable? No, I want you to understand. Do you know why the Cedi is stable? The Cedi is stable not because Dr. Forson at the finance ministry is doing anything special. It's because government is not spending. It's because contractors are not being paid. It's because there's no liquid in the circulating in the economy.
It's temporal. It is not any economic gurus in this country that is causing the cedi to appreciate and the dollar to depreciate. It is the wealth market that they are not demanding the dollars as much as they used to. That is why there's no competition, and supply of dollar is exceeding the demand. As simple as that. These are basic economics principles. So we have to be careful with what you are saying about interest rate and all those things. It's not magic. It is the world economy that is falling apart, and the demand for the dollar has gone down.
The appreciation of the cedi that we have seen recently I think one of the things that if you ask a simple question to the NDC to point out exactly what policy they have implemented that has resulted in the appreciation of the city, they cannot tell you one that has been implemented. They've not even issued any contracts and paid for anything, pretty much. So you cannot ascribe what is happening to the currency to a policy that they have implemented. There's no such policy that has been implemented that has had that impact.
And you had them. They was just happening. They had nothing to do with any policy. And then later on, that changed a bit. They say they are claiming that there's some gold board. And then the argument shifted from the gold board, say, the gold board cried, they're doing galamsey. Want to see Jandam steps? No. First, nothing was happening. Cry. And then when something seemed that it was happening, and maybe the gold board, then the next day, some Jandam element came out. It's galamsey. They're buying all the gold from the galamsey people. So now they can't stop galamsey. And that became another angle of Jandam. And then that from its gold board gradually went into the fact that, but even it's Bawumia's idea.
That's why I said, look, Bawumia is a good statesman. It's a very fine statesman. And this policy that has driven what we are having today, being perfected by the NDC under the gold board, is his brainchild.
He was the one that talked about gold for oil. It's his idea. Whereas on the record, they will tell you that Ghana lost billions through gold for oil. But Jandam is amazing. Suddenly, after nothing is happening, then it was, let's position Bawumia as the thinker behind all of this. And then it was that for a while, and when that Jandam didn't work out, then what we had lately was that don't mind them, is the IMF.
We hereby submit that the so-called gains were not born out of government's competence in the management of our economy. Rather, the IMF program, debt relief, rising commodity exports, reduced expenditure are the major reasons for the upswing in Ghana's economy, not a re-engineering of the economy.
Is the IMF really? Really? You see, folks, and people start thinking, but wait a minute. You were under the IMF for 8 years. You promised Ghanaians that we are a sovereign country. We are a proud people. We will never go to the IMF. Ally? Listen to this.
But I can tell you, as my colleague, Deputy Minister said, we are not going to the IMF. Whatever we do, we are not. The consequences are there. We are a proud nation. We have the resources. We have the capacity. Don't let anybody tell you. We are not people of short sight. What happened to the sovereignty? We promised we'll never go to the IMF. Anyway, we went to the IMF, regardless of all of that. And Ghana's asking, but wasn't it the same IMF and the same bailout that they gave us? And for 8 years! Dennis, where were you during that 8 years? 8 years. Ghanaians were in Ghana and they didn't see anything, but you went to the IMF. But all of a sudden, when the power has changed hands and somebody else is in the office, that same IMF, which under the 8 years they didn't do much, suddenly starts showing a windfall under the NDC. All I can say is the APU. Now let me go back to my argument. So, Excellency Bawumia, Future Excellency, Honorable Candidate Japon, this is the ground you have set for Ghanaians and for the masses of the people who just follow you because of sycophancy
an inherent blood lineage, whatever they call it. That's the foundation that you have set to. Nothing is happening. Ghana is actually worse off. So my thing is this. So when you become the flag bearers of your, when you become the flag bearer, either of you, when you become the flag bearer of your party, are you going to toe the same line? This is what your party has said to. The holding power to account was set up by the party. This is the groundwork that you have told Ghanaians. Nothing is happening.
If this is a reset, then we are in trouble. The People's Forum and the view of the people, as you can see, is that we are not seeing a reset. We are seeing a reverse.
So I'm saying that once you become the flag bearer, I'm sure you're going to start campaigning like crazy, because you believe that you are the ones that God has ordained to change Ghana. So once you become the flag bearer, you're going to change Ghana. The question I'm going to ask, when you come, are you going to continue on the same pillars, the same platform that your party has laid, that nothing is happening, and so you have come to make things better? I'm looking forward to it. What's your campaign going to be? That nothing has happened. We have campaigned. We have evidence. We see. So miracles. You are Bawumia, maybe chief of staff, whatever, I don't know. But you campaign for him. So Dennis, for example, if Bawumia becomes the flag bearer, is he going to campaign on the platform you have set that nothing is happening in Ghana? And all the changes with the appreciation of the city are fake? Is he going to campaign on that? I'm really looking for that. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. Maybe he will now explain to Ghanaians what it means by nothing is happening. And then we will all analyze from there. But we are all in this Ghana. We'll see. And Kennedy Agyapong too. Will that be your platform? That nothing has happened? There has not been any appreciating. The dollar, the exchange rate, everything, the GDP, everything has worsened. So you, Kennedy, you have come as a shining knight on the on the white horse to save Ghana. Will that be your campaign? Will you look the people, like you said, eyeball to eyeball, and tell them that you have inherited a mess, and it's going to take your leadership to change it? Honestly, I'm really looking forward to this. And so are all Ghanaians. That's my Funalytics. So my Funalytics is that let us see, let us be patient. Tomorrow, the election is on. Whoever wins, what platform are you going to campaign on? Are you going to campaign on the same platform that the party has left? That Ghana is now in crisis. There's this guy, I think he's called Sticker. He said something about the depreciation of the cedi some time ago. Listen to this.
Cedi depreciation is a ritual problem. I agree with you. It's not because of one particular government. Unless one is suffering from unconscious incompetence or displaying intellectual dishonesty, that will say that cedi depreciation is NPP government. It's an issue that has nationalistic, or that needs nationalistic attention. That one I agree. But it's not. So far we keep on being in importer-driven economy. We'll be having problems with the city because we import almost everything. But inshallah, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, next year if he comes, we're going to design a long-term framework to deal with the city.
I like what he said, man. I'm having fun with all these things, though. I like what he said. He said that the problem of the city is a ritual. No, we shouldn't make any politics out of it too. It's a ritual. Every government goes through it. And the only approach to it is if we have a national consensus about it and treat it as a national thing. Really? It's a ritual? So, my dear friend Sticker, what has happened to the ritual of the cedi depreciating? Because obviously there's appreciation. Is that a ritual? And if it's something that needs national consensus, then why are you not bold enough to say, I have to admit, this is the first time I've seen a government come into power and change the dynamics. And I mean, what? It's a national ritual. Oh my goodness. Now, folks, let us look at the two front runners, His Excellency Bawumia and then Kennedy Agyapong. Let us look at the two front runners. It has happened before. Remember the last election? They were both in the context.
President Akufo, member will show down. Vice President, member will show down.
And the funny thing then was that Kennedy blasted Bawumia to no ends. He blasted them about his lack of focus on the economy. Listen to what he said.
I was expecting the year 2016, okay, economy was a year, and compensation see our call round to make economy was. The man said, when Mahama media no crazy in Mumbai and I can Japan or my NDC ammunition, NDC for Muntikuruma. When the man said, say, when your fundamentals are weak, your exchange rate will expose you. When he was saying that $1 was 4 cedis, and now current DC for say 3 cedis, 80 pesos, and today 11.5. The rate of depreciation. What are we going to say? And to me, the baby had no credit be any account. Now they were unfairly or a mate. He gave 170 questions to Vice President Emisata to answer. And then they also have Vice President or President Cedi Yentimi and Kanya Waka. Also, you have the inflation and the lock and key. Is that what is going on from 11% to 47%? Is it an insult or the truth? Because I'm telling you your own words that you use. I'm repeating it. And we have to be bold and speak the truth for the country, for the good of Ghana.
So there you go. You know, Kennedy was actively campaigning against Bawumia. He doesn't know the economy now. All of a sudden he's talking digital. He went sharp against him. But check this out. Bawumia won, and all of a sudden, the same man who said Bawumia did not have anything to offer on the economy, the same man riding side by side with Bawumia. Not to say though. He actually promised that if Bawumia won, he will build and donate a free, I think, toilet for some people. Listen to this.
December 7, Obama NPP, Miakasa, Beba Besi, 12th classroom block, and they are checking. I want to school at Jimmy. This is Automa Dr. Bawumia.
So, folks, this is what I'm saying. Now, today, they happen to be the two front runners. And here again, now that they are in that shape, you know, Kennedy actually has called him a liar. Listen to this.
I've never seen a liar like our former flag bearer on earth. He's a liar. Say, Edubuahin, one contested because not Oya. This man is a liar. Today, I tell you, he's a liar. You shouldn't vote for a liar. A man who is lying to have power. Wow.
So you see politics and how politicians just mess up and the people who follow just cheer on. And I think it's funny, Charlie. And I want you to, that's Kennedy. Now, I want us to look at Bawumia. And sometimes politicians, the very words that you speak come back to haunt you. The very words you speak. Do you remember when I think Mahama was trying to, His Excellency Mahama was trying to come back for the position. And Bawumia says, but you cry, who be you? Who born dog? Listen to what he said.
Yama o kwan se be yejuma. Ejuma no want man ye. Obi a be yejuma yi na se se o tena abonten se yama o kwan ye ejuma no bi. Mengin de se Ghana for be penisa.
So, Excellency, should I ask you the same thing? You also had power for 8 years and you didn't need Fuku. You said now you are coming back. I want you to answer your own question.
You cannot manage the economy with propaganda. You can engage in all the propaganda you want. But if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you.
You will recall that I stated in 2014 that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. That was true then, and it is true now. So if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But it is warped logic to jump from that to a conclusion that if there is depreciation in your currency, then the fundamentals must be weak. Do you understand the logic? It is very warped logic. If the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But if the exchange rate moves, you cannot jump to that conclusion that the fundamentals are weak.
Folks, and I don't think your former running mate is also making things any better for you. He is so much behind you. Say, you are the only intelligent person in the cabinet. Listen to your former running mate.
Me Agyapong prempe. Me say cabinet say influence and fan. Edu be bi kra na o twe bia na the policy ba akoko parliament cabinet o. After me ko ya no for mo breme. Me hu nyansafo. A o cabinet wa sebi na na dwimu Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Me hu nyansafo. Our cabinet was Cedi, then I dream Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Now I want you all to understand something. And those of you who you go on social media and see what the young guys are just having so much fun on TikTok, social media, and they are pointing out to Napo as he's strengthening that even the whole president then, Nana Akufo-Addo, who was the chairman of the cabinet, even him didn't show the kind of intelligence that Bawumia showed. So folks, this is why sometimes I say I have fun, because things that we say come back to haunt us. I'm sure plenty of people are looking for things that I would say that will come back to haunt me. When it comes, it's fair game. When it comes, it's fair game. Because look, I'm looking at the two front runners. I want to see what Japon has said, what Bawumia has said. And listen to this, what his former vice has said. He describes him as the most intelligent person who contributed to discussions during cabinet meetings. He said this was the most solid person. And funny enough, there's another keen supporter of Bawumia who says something that is very contrary to what Napo is saying. Let's listen to him.
He has no clue. Oforiata has no clue. Bawumia, you have. I don't know a request for Okroma. Okroma. Is the vice president here? God have mercy upon us. Huh? And who was the president to do Okroma? I just said, Jimmy. Bawumia, the president, will come and just Ghana for Jimmy Pa. One under you, one are head of economic management team. Look at the things happening. And you say you want to be president of the nation. Are we mad or something? Why will we even... Look, this is the highest form of insult.
All I can say is confusion. But here, this is what I'm saying, man. Tomorrow is the primaries. I'm waiting eagerly for whoever emerge. The info analytics people say they put their bet on the line for Bawumia. Actually, Musa Dankwa said he's put his neck on the line and credibility on the line that Bawumia is winning.
The poll shows that Bawumia is going to win one touch.
One touch?
Yes. Absolutely. In fact, we've increased the confidence level in this poll to 99.9%. Bawumia is going to win 14 regions. Kennedy will win 2 regions.
And some prophets too are behind the scenes also working on. Prophet Bernard too says, God told me personally that Kennedy is winning. Not only winning the flag bearership, but Kennedy is going to be the next president.
Oh, in the 2028, Kennedy Japon will be winning.
His Excellency, Honorable His Excellency Kennedy Ohine Japon.
President of Ghana.
Yeah.
2029, 7th January.
Yes.
Prophet Bernard L. Bernard Nelson Eshen.
That is my name.
That's Prophet Bernardi Bernardo. God to me a rascal. I'm sure. I beg you all Christians and followers of God, but sometimes the way we hear things is like God is a rascal. Why am I saying that? Because that same God also went to tell Prophet Nigel Gezi that, Charlie, I'm telling you, God was like between me and you, man to man. Bawumia is coming.
So to the NPP primaries, the Lord carried me. I saw Dr. Bawumia take it.
We will say Dr. Bawumia at it. NPP primaries, I saw Bawumia winning the primaries.
Oh, Nyakupon, me ya brewo ba fache me. You see the head like KSM so abrenya me. Nyakupon ya brewo KSM so abrenya me. But no, I'm saying something and I'll continue next week when we come on. But that's what's happening. One prophet of God, divine prophet of God, has a word of God to give to Kennedy. God says, Kennedy, you are the man.
On the 31st of January 2026, it shall be declared that Honorable Kennedy Ohene Agyapong has won.
Today, the angel said, I should tell you face to face that on the 31st of January 2026, the number you picked during balloting that has made this as your symbol after the election, this will be your position.
And the word of God, you can't mess with the word of God. You can't mess with the prophet. Another prophet who's also speaking on behalf of God looks Bawumia in the face and says, Bawumia, God says I should tell you, you are a man.
So to the NPP primaries, the Lord carried me. I saw Dr. Bawumia take it.
We will say Dr. Bawumia at it. NPP primaries, I saw Bawumia winning the primaries.
So you understand why I say my brain, because God seems to be toying with us. Either they are toying with us or God is. Anyway, Ochina need to be trapped. Tomorrow is the primaries, and all of this will end. And then next week, I'll come back, and then we shall have the discussion. We're comedies. So join me next week when we come back after the results. Whoever has won, God has predicted for two different people. Japon say whatever he predicted on him, he will come back, and then the rest of them. And finally, to all the delegates, I think one of the saddest moments in my life was when the NPP thought it necessary that they should all come and sign a peace pact, which meant that they didn't trust each other, so elections will be peaceful. That was very, very sad. If the NPP is the party that's supposed to be the party of men, the party of intelligence, the party of democracy, there should have been no need for a peace pact. But because of the division and the hostility and the antagonism, sadly, they actually have to come together to decide, say, we will all sign, say, we will be peaceful. Hopefully, delegates, I'm begging you today, you know I can't go down this, but Mr. Delegates, go out there, make it a peaceful election. No knives, no guns, nothing. Go and vote your conscience. And whoever you vote out of your conscience, we shall see tomorrow. In the meantime, in between time, regardless of everything, this nation is not stopping for anything. We shall continue rising, and Ghana will in fact rise again.